tonight's episode.
It's a giant microphone.
Yeah, Mike. He always remembers my giant microphone.
I know. How could I forget it?
Yeah, I know. But it works so well.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode, since we've been talking for years now, I love the Victorian episodes, and you guys go back tonight, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tease us a little bit about that one.
Well, it literally starts where we left off. So Magnus appears at the cobblestones in Victorian-era London, and she's chasing after Adam Worth, trying to stop him from altering the timeline. But the cool part about the episode is there's two Magnuses. There's past Magnus and current, and then there's two Adam Worths. Of course, current Magnus is going to run into somebody from her past, so we see Jack the Ripper and James Watson, and there's a couple of really neat twists and turns, and at the end, you're not really sure how she's going to get back to her present day.
Very cool. Now, I want to ask you both about the singing episode that's coming up.
Yeah.
Now, have you both had any vocal training at all prior to this?
Oh, yeah. We were both on Broadway for years. So, yeah.
No. In other words, no.
No, not at all.
So, did you, warm up and that kind of thing when you were doing it?
Yeah, and we learned the songs, and then 2 weeks before we started shooting the episode, we went into a studio and laid the songs down. And then a week before we started shooting, we went into the studio again and sort of learned how to sing them to the soundtrack, and so that we had a guide track.
It was a very technical episode.
It was technical.
We had tiny little earbuds, and we worked very closely with Andrew Lockton, who was our composer on the show. He came in and really was there to kind of coach us through the recording process, because it's scary when you go into a recording studio and have to sing, especially if you're not a singer.
Yeah, I've interviewed Andrew. He's terrific.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah.
It's awesome. And you're both directing episodes, and at Comic-Con you covered a little bit of that, but as far as the plot, can you kind of tease us a little bit about each episode that you both direct?
Well, I direct the second episode of the season, and it's basically where we left off again with the insurgents coming up from Hollow Earth. And it's huge. For me, it was the biggest action. I had huge stunt fights, explosions, all sorts of crazy stuff, night shoot on location. So it was, it's a big episode for me. And then Robin...
I directed the episode that it deals a lot with Will's backstory. You get to meet his father, and you get to see him in different incarnations. It was a difficult episode for me because I'm in it quite a lot, and I play Will in different times of his life. There's a lot of flashback stuff. So there was a lot of moving parts to the episode, but I think it's a good episode for the Will backstory, and then also it's a very funny episode. Because Magnus kind of encounters these two crazy characters and has to sort of go on this wild adventure with her, and it's actually quite a funny episode as well. A lot of comedy.
I want to throw this back at you because I've been following you guys and covering you guys since the very beginning when you were on the web, and I really noticed and really saw it in the last few years, and it really goes back to the beginning too, that really at the core of this series is really the relationship. Part of it is the relationship between Will and Helen. And you can comment on it.
I think that's really at the heart of it, is that relationship. And what you see in season 4 is a completely level playing field. And there's times when it's somewhat acrimonious, and it's a very intense, this year especially, because Magnus does a lot of things kind of outside of the box, and instead of trusting Will with everything that she's up to, she chooses to keep him out of the loop, which is frustrating for him, obviously. But she continues, she pushes forward, and he just continues to call her on her. Yeah. Yeah,
I think this season 4 you're going to see the real kind of, there's some cracks that happen in the relationship, I think.
Yeah.
That it's, I think, ultimately going to strengthen the relationship between the two characters, but it's kind of shocking at times. I think the audience is going to be shocked by what they see that happens between them.
I like that.
Shocking, intrigue.
Shock.
That sounds great. Well, season 3 is available on DVD, and just alone to see that one scene with you and Polly Walker, several scenes back and forth like a tennis match, wow. And just really, I thought, season 3, you guys got back on your mojo big time. It was everything Sanctuary to me always has to take risks, otherwise it's not Sanctuary.
Right.
So talk about the DVD and what goodies you guys have in store for us.
On the season 3 DVDs, we have a very funny blooper reel, I have to say. I think I'm on directing one night. We actually have a lot of extras on it. There's a great VisFX reel on it. It's a big season. I mean, it's 20 episodes.
There's lots of great commentaries for that season.
I mean, we're somewhat irreverent when we do our commentaries, so it's quite fun.
All 20 episodes that were aired on television are on the DVD.
Yeah,
which
all
is
20 of
always
them.
good. We didn't forget any of them.
Yeah, and there's some artwork on the front that has us in it.
Pictures of us and stuff. Really nice packaging.
Tony's like, yeah, whatever, kids, come on, seriously, I can't use any of this.
Actually, I did like the new photos that were taken for 4. It's kind of like a different slant.
A bit different, a bit more, In the office.
You should see the outtakes of those photos.
The outtakes of those photos are funny. Yes. Yeah.
It's funny. We often say that maybe we're working in the wrong genre because we're constantly goofing around.
Is there an end game that you guys are planning as far as how much longer you want to go on with the series?
We really don't know. We're kind of at the mercy of a lot of different elements.
I'd say 10 or 15 years.
I'd definitely love to do another season for sure. I don't see it ending right now, but it's incumbent on pickups from networks like Sci-Fi and Space in Canada, and we're privately financed by the BD Group, and so it's also up to them.
I like it when you say incumbent.
Incumbent.
Yeah.
I use words that
you do use
multi-syllabic
nice, big
words
like incumbent.
All right. Yeah. Now you're mocking me.
No, I'm not.
He's
I'm
mocking.
not. I'm just trying.
Open mockery.
I'm trying to be nice to you. I'm trying to give you a compliment, and you can't even take it. You can't even take it.
I just turn the microphone on these guys and just let them go.
Exactly.
I don't need any.
The Bickersons are in the house.
I don't need any questions.
I open the fridge in the middle of the night and I do 5 minutes.
I'm here all week. As far as the green screen, we've talked about it many times. Is it like second nature, or do you still get challenged every time you still film?
I think because of the like you say, Sanctuary is always kind of thinking outside the box and challenging. I think in certain ways when new ideas come along that kind of push the envelope of the green screen, it's difficult. I think certainly when the city, when we did this the city last season, trying to wrap our heads around that, and the fact that it's kind of was more of a three-dimensional use of the green screen was difficult. I mean, yes, we spent a lot of time in the green screen, and it is a comfort zone. I mean, my house at home is just, I painted it all green, everything, because it's just unnatural. But
it can be whatever he imagines
I can
it
just
to be.
do whatever I want. But certainly, I think there are times where it's still difficult, especially for me, because I don't know my left and right. So.
Well, and you don't.
I don't know.
When it's
Thanks for just putting that out there.
Well, you don't. I mean,
they could have thought I was joking, and now they know
you don't know your left from your right.
I'm a stupid person.
No, you're just silly. The biggest challenge is when there's a creature involved, and like in season 3 with the basilisk in Hollow Earth, it's like not knowing where it is and how big its tail is. That kind of thing is still a challenge. But I feel very comfortable on the green screen. Yeah, it's a nice.
If we were shooting the show in Barcelona, it would be a basilisk.
A basilisk.
A basilisk. The basilisk on the green screen.
We have to wrap, but guys,
Tony,
such a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure, man. Take care.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and you're listening to Sci-Fi Talk.
Thanks.